Hey everyone, my name is Carolyn and I'm from Nona's Nutty Crafts. You can find me on Etsy, Pinterest, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube as well. So we're going to do some painting today, getting ready for that Halloween season. So what we're going to do today, let me put this down here, is we're going to paint some witch's boots. Now I've already pre-painted this as far as the base coat goes on the black. I chose black since it's Halloween, and for me doing a lot of things like this, if I were to paint and paint gets on the back or anything, black is easiest to cover everything. But like I said, we're doing Halloween right now, so we're going to start with this one. All right, hope y'all can see. I'm not used to having the camera off to my side, but I didn't want it behind me or in front of me because my hand would be covering. So what I did, I already, like I said, I put a base coat on of black. We're going to have black boots here. We're going to make them look a little bit prettier. You could make your stockings or legs go a little higher, but I chose to cut it off there. This is going to be covered with probably some mesh or ribbon up here. So as far as that goes. Now I'm going to turn this a little bit for me. And what I'm going to do with the stockings, we're going to go ahead and do these kind of like on an angle. And you're going to do one way, one the other way. Or you can do polka dot stripes. You could do whatever you want. It is totally up to you what you want to do. Okay? So we're going to do some orange. Now, this is going to have to be done in layers, so we're not going to see all of it done tonight. So this will probably be like a part 1, and then I'll probably come back with a part 2, because I have to put multiple layers on this. Oop, got some cookie in my paint there. Always have a paper towel handy. All right, then you choose whatever paintbrush that you want to use. I, for instance, have all my paintbrushes. This is like for crocheting or knitting. It's in a little thing like this, and I roll it up, and I keep all my paintbrushes in here. But you can do, again, whatever you choose. It is your project. So we're going to start with just a plain brush. Get a little water on it. Now this is going to come across, but then I'll angle it. So I'm just going to get a base. And because I put this here like this, that's because I wanted it to go straight across like that. And then this is all freehand. There is nothing to this as far as size goes or anything. Being straight, this is a whimsical project, and it's just made to have fun with. Now I didn't have to really base coat these legs if I didn't want to, but I chose to. And like I said, there's going to be multiple layers on this just because you're not going to just put one layer on. Otherwise, it won't last very long. Okay, and then I have to choose another color to go with that right next to it. So our Halloween colors are purple for Witch's Brew. We have our orange, which stands for life. We have our green, which stands for slime. Of course, you have black, which is darkness. We have yellow, which I forgot what yellow stood for. And of course, white, which is ghastly. And then, of course, you'll have red, but we're not going to use any red in this particular project today. But because red stands for blood, like when you think of Dracula and stuff like that. And hopefully my phone won't go off because I'm just going to put my iPad here on mute because I realized I didn't turn that off. There we go. So that we don't have that problem. Because that would be not too fun having everything going beep, beep, beep as we're doing this. So my next color that I'm going to do is purple. And I'm just going to do this back and forth, different colors. Now you can do all, if I wanted to do just orange again, orange again, orange again, I can do that as well. Again, your project, do it how you want, how you feel it works best for you. And And I'm just going to take the purple and come right in here. Again, whimsical. This isn't made to be crazy straight lines or anything like that. I will be putting another line over this line here where the two colors meet in the long run. Okay, there's a little bit purple. I was thinking of bringing in some white, so we're going to see how that looks. I would want to put my white down because everything, if I try to put it on top of so many colors, it may not come out very good. So we're going to see. I can always change it up. So this is just going to give you a baseline of what it is. Again, not to be so straight in lines. These are a pair of stockings. Have you ever seen a pair of stockings that all the lines are straight? Especially those ones they wore in the olden days where the line was up on the back of the leg. Never had that line straight. Okay. And then I'm going to come back to my orange again. Again, I'm going to put another line on top of that. It'd probably be a black line just to give it some depth along the way. But again, you can paint all one color if you want to do that first. You can make these as thick as you want or as thin as you want. Up to you. All right. So I like to paint, needless to say. Come back over here with this one. And if you get some orange or something on there, just wipe your brush off because you don't want the colors, if you don't want the colors to blend in with each other. And that's all you have to do. They had too much water on that one. You want your brush just a little bit wet, and that's just so, if it's so dry, the bristles just don't kind of play well with you. So you just get it a little damp and wet, and that's all you have to do. Now I got this witch's leg from a lady who owns Crafty Tessie. And I had the pleasure of meeting her at a convention, which was called Wreath Makers Live down in New Orleans a couple of weeks ago. And I really enjoyed her company. I had a good time down there, actually. It was really fun. Now I'm going to come back over this a little bit and see if I can get this a little bit darker. Now, in between these layers, you can go ahead and you can take a heated dryer. Oop, got some white in there. And that will help dry it a little bit faster. But like I said, we're going to do this in probably stages maybe with y'all. And again, you can make these lines as big as you want. Take a different brush there. We got some orange going here. There we go. Voila. And it starts covering up. And again, where these lines meet, we're going to put some black and stuff in there just to kind of give it a little bit more depth. Just some fun. And I don't care. See how that goes over? I don't care because the purple is darker than the orange, so it will cover it up in the long run. So painting, a lot of people think, oh my gosh, I can't do that. This is fun painting. Fun painting. It's not so technical where you go, oh my gosh, I gotta get those lines just right. How am I gonna do that? Now we have it's like an angle brush. So if you want to use more of an angle brush in here, you can do that as well. If you're worried about what we call cutting lines. Throw this over here. And you can do it like that as well. It is your choice. And how you want to do it. And that's the fun thing about painting. You can see something, and if you think it needs to be a different color, go for it. Change up. There's no right or wrong. It's in the eye of the beholder, as they say. And again, this is whimsical. All right. So I'm just kind of repeating the pattern as I go down the line. And now we're back to orange, which I need some more of. Getting close to my edge of my boots here. When I mean the edge, I drew a little bit of a line here where I wanted to stop with the stockings as far as color goes. And you don't have to do that, you know, however you want it. I wanted mine angled down a little bit with it. You could go straight at the top, across the top. It's up to you. And I'm probably going to finish up with this purple going down here, which again, I need some more of. If you're worried about going off the edges, take your brush this way. If you do it this way, you have a tendency to get a glob of it going down the side of it. So this way you can just bring your brush across, finish it off, and you'll have a nice edge. Now I'm going to turn this a little bit. Move my paint out of the way. Because, you know, as an artist, we like to, I don't even call myself an artist. I call myself just somebody having fun at what I like to do. Now this line here, I do want a little bit more straighter than these whimsical lines, and that's just because that's the boot top where it is, and I would like that just to be just a little bit straighter. But again, it's a witch's boot. It's probably all raggedy and tatted. Okay, so we're going to let some of that dry because we got to put some other coats on there. Now what I want to deal with, I have the buckles, and I don't know if you could really see. I kind of then, again, drew out my buckles here just to give me some idea where I wanted it and how big I wanted it to be. So we're just going to have some fun, and I think we're going to do these. We'll do the buckles part here in orange. And then we'll do this maybe in a stripe. So I'll probably paint it all purple and then come back later when it's dry and put some white lines on it. That would probably be the easiest way to do it. So let me get a thinner brush to go here. And again, I have different widths of brushes, so it makes it easier for me to paint. And again, you can do whatever. So we're going to do the buckle in orange. Again, I know I'm going to have to come back with a second coat on this, since I did this in a black base, which is fine. And again, the buckle doesn't have to be straight either. This is a fun little project. I'm just kind of getting the base outline of what I had drawn on here, just to make it somewhat even. And we'll do the same on this one here. Where you start on the buckle doesn't matter. It's up to you. This one's a little bit easy. I should have turned it upside down, because then I can just drag the paint across. All right, so that takes care of that. All right, some whimsy in here, whimsy. So we'll come back with some of my purple, and we're going to fill in here and here, because this is like a strap going around the witch's boot, and we're just going to fill it in. And again, we'll have to do 2 coats. And you can, again, choose whatever colors. You don't have to do Halloween colors. If you want to do this something else, maybe the Wicked Witch of the West, you know, from our lovely show, The Wizard of Oz, you could do something in those colors. If you're having a party for The Wizard of Oz, you may want to do something like that. And I'll outline all this as well, just to give it a little bit more definition once we get it all painted up. So let me flip this baby around a little bit. And of course, the thicker you put your paint on, but you don't want to put it on so thick that you're going to get all these blobs in there, especially around the edges, because when you do it, it looks like I've gone more close to the edge. I have a lot at the edge and not anywhere else. So you do want to pull that away so you don't get a big blobby thing at the edge there. And again, do it however you feel more comfortable at doing. Okay, so now I can come back, fill in some of these up here a little bit maybe. You can start seeing it take effect as far as coming into shape, as far as colors and everything go. And let's say you got a little paint there that you didn't want. Take a paper towel, dip it in some clean water, and you can just rub it right off while it's still wet. And you're done with that. So don't be so technical with your things. Just, you know, as far as lines and circles go, just have fun with it. Because then you start going, oh my gosh, my hand's shaking. Lean your hand down on, like I'm leaning my wrist down on here. Do that. Okay, it makes you feel a little bit more comfortable and gives you a little bit more steadiness to your hand. Then do whatever. But don't make yourself so technical that you're going to drive yourself crazy and shake. Upside down. Now this is hard because I don't want to get paint on there. Okay. And we'll come back where you see little spaces and stuff. We'll fill all that in. No worries. Like I said, this is done in layers. And again, I'm going to be putting some black in here on these lines, so that's why I'm not too worried about the lines, the way they overlap or anything, because we're going to fix all that and blend it all in. I think I missed one down there. I think I did. It starts drying so fast sometimes that I can't remember which ones I did. Alright, so we're really going to let that dry a little bit more. We'll come back. I got to do the white better and stuff. Actually, let me do that one white spot, because that's going to bug me. Any of the purple on there. Okay, so we'll let that sit. Come back down here. Where's my skinny one? There we are. And we'll do some more orange again. Care of that. Do some purple. Ideally, it's if you go with the grain of the board, which is up and down on this particular one. But you have all these little nooks and cranny things you gotta get, so it makes it a little bit hard. As long as you fill it all in, you're good to go. Most people like to do something, everybody's different in what they like, to paint the whole board one color and then maybe stencil some wording or something on it. And you can do that as well. Not on this particular one maybe, but on others. Alright, So again, we'll come back. We're going to fill in some more. We're going to highlight this with some black in there. Want to let that dry a little bit. So what we're going to do, we're going to put some dots on this. And the dots are really easy to do. We have these little things, and these make those perfect little circle dots. Okay? And I drew a little curve here and a little curve here on my boot because one technically probably overlaps. Nobody has their two heels exactly together unless you're a ballerina or something like that. So when I come back and we highlight around the edges, that's going to be my little mark to just do there, so to give a little bit more definition to the boots. And we'll do the same with this. I'm going to come back with some white and black in here. So right now we're going to use this little dabber guy, and we're going to take, well, we haven't used green yet, so let's do some green. All right. Now the colors you choose for these is really up to you. This one, this green, happens to be bright palm. The purple is purple. The orange is what I call pumpkin, or what they call pumpkin. The white is white, black is black. So this little sponge, now I don't like a lot of water on these because they are a sponge, they absorb. So all I'm going to do is take my little dabbing. Make sure you get it around the edges because sometimes the edges don't come out if you don't get it. Okay, and we're just going to put it on and we're going to twist. Okay, so wherever you want to start, let's start one here, and I'm just going to twist it just a little and pull it up. Now see how it didn't come out on that side? So these you can put down. Get a little more paint on that one. Okay, and we can smooth that out so we're not worried about that. And you push down a little bit. Sorry, I did turn my iPad off, but evidently things are still popping through. And you just randomly do your dots wherever you want them to be. Okay. I need some more paint in there. Already ran out of paint. I like it that it comes up like this texture-wise because it gives a little character, but we'll fix that too. So we'll do some, let's put some little kind of semi-half dots in here. Oh. Oh. Wet paper towel works wonders. Got a globby thing there. Don't want that. Some more paint. Now here I want to do some half ones, but because I have the paintbrush, you know, already with paint on the whole thing, I don't want to try to do that right now. Now, if you don't have one of these, depending on your size, you can take your lid and dab the outsides. You know how you dab the ring of this and put it on, and then you can paint the middle of it. You can do that too. So you can find, you know, some object that might work for you, that might work better if you don't want a complete big circle, or if you don't have one of these little sponge little dabber things. Go. Paint for one more maybe. So, before we do anything else, let's go ahead and fill these babies in. Now I can come back with the dabber, and I can go over these again. If you're going to use a second color, like a smaller one, you may not have to come over this again. Make sure I don't put my arm in the paint down from these other circles down here. Be a green monster all of a sudden. I do like the texture of that though. It kind of makes it fun. Gives it some character. Let's fix that one. And again, I'll be painting the sides black again. So we're up. There I go, sticking my finger in the paint. See if we can get that fixed, that circle. There we go. Oops. Yeah. They're coming out kind of cute. It does use a lot of paint though, depending on the size of the dots that you're going to be making. Now these, because it's the circles, I can't really paint on them because this is going to take a little bit to dry. Okay, so I want to do some little half circles in there. So let me get my little dabbing brush here, a little bit clean. Squeeze out some of that water. Now there's a couple ways that you can do this. You can put a piece of paper towel or something over that if you're worried about the paint going in there. And all you would have to do is do something like, whoop, we can't do that because I have that. So I want to only do half of this. Let's say half of the brush. So now what I can do, I can come in back in with my paintbrush and just come across. More paint. Okay, again, we're going to have to let it dry a little bit. Paint is not sticking. Here we go. And some of these have, you don't want to have big globs in the middle of this or anything, so you can just dab your paintbrush a little bit on it. All right, so that's going to be part 1 for right now. And I will come back and you will have to look for part 2 because I have to get this dry a little bit. And then we'll come back and we'll do some more shading and stuff on the rest of it. All right, so thank you for coming for Nona's Nutty Pass. Stay tuned for part 2 of the Witch's Legs painting, okay? Y'all have a good evening.